financial repression. Financial repression is one of those terms that only a banker can make up. Essentially means government intervention in marketplaces. Now, there's a whole list of things if you look up on YouTube, especially one guy's an authority, and this is Gordon T. Long. But today I'm going to talk about how it affects individuals like me in my communities, people of color communities. We already come from a deficit, generally, in terms of any statistical number that you can put up forth. We have higher unemployment rates, higher incarcerations, and less access to credit in general. Now, this particular policy, we're also, if you look at us per capita, we have the lowest savings rate as well. Under the financial repression terms, governments try to offset all the free goodies they've done by making life essentially harder for you. And in our communities, life is already difficult in itself. Now, I know I'm being vague here in discussing it because it's such a huge topic, and the definition really doesn't, the technical definition really doesn't give the emphasis of what it actually does. When you think of financial repression, think of banks coinciding with government to make things difficult for you in a monetary sense. The low interest rates that you get paid, you're punished for saving. You go to negative interest rates, so you can't get an actual yield on the money that you are saving. Everything that you purchase becomes much more expensive, and you find it much more harder for you to survive. As I mentioned before, in our communities, we're already functioning in a kind of a deficit kind of a standard as it is. Unemployment rates are extremely high, and this term, it needs to be discussed and how it is going to affect us. So I'm doing probably my best job of trying to explain such a complex and term, but it's just something that we really need to be mindful of and really have discussions of. Again, I can't stress enough the importance of financial repression. I'll probably go in more detail later, probably in another video when I'm going to talk about pensions and how financial repression is going to affect pensions. Again, when you think of financial repression, think of government intervention to make things more difficult for you because of mistakes they've made. There's not they essentially use a printing press to fund wars and all the other free goodies that they've given to you without really finding out how this is going to be paid, and it makes it much more difficult. We are seeing financial repression live in Greece. Until next conversation, look up financial repression, understand its meaning, and focus on that point when you're doing your daily dealings. Talk to you soon.